Hola, Campion! Hope you're having fun. This chapter on surface area and volume really fuels our imagination, doesn't it? In one of the previous videos, we imagined a square and a rectangle being extended perpendicularly along the third dimension to form a cube and a cuboid. It taught us so much about the volume of these 3D shapes, didn't it? All this was possible only because of the power of imagination. You know, mathematics in its truest sense is incomplete without imagination. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. This isn't my quote. It was actually quoted by the great Albert Einstein. So true, isn't it? It's time we learn from the greatest and employ our imagination to solve some really interesting problems based on the volume of cuboids and cubes. Excited? Let's roll. Before we delve right into solving problems, let's take a moment to revise the formula for the volume of cuboids and cubes. For a cuboid with edge lengths L, B and H, its volume is calculated using L into B into H, which is the same as LBH. And for a cube with edge length S, its volume is calculated using S cube. Now, there may be some questions where we might have to deal with the surface area of these three shapes. We already know the formula for that, don't we? The total surface area of a cuboid is calculated using 2 into LB plus BH plus HL. And its lateral surface area is calculated using 2 into L plus B into H. On the other hand, for a cube, its total surface area is calculated using 6S squared. And its lateral surface area, as we all know, is calculated using 4S squared. So, now that we have armed ourselves with the formula, let's attack some questions. We'll start with something simple. Say this one. It states that a solid cube of side 12 centimeters is cut into 8 cubes of equal volume. What will be the side of the new cube? Also, find the ratio between their surface areas. Pretty simple a question, isn't it? As for the question, there's a big solid cube and it is being cut into 8 cubes of equal volume. That is to say, the 8 cubes are identical. Now, we just need to find the side or the edge length of this new cube and also compare the surface areas of the two. How difficult is that? Not at all. This problem deals with the surface area and volume of cubes, right? And we know that to find the surface area and volume of any cube, the only prerequisite is the edge length. Now, the edge length of the big cube is already given, so we just have to find the edge length of the small cube and then use it in the formula to find its total surface area. So, the actual question is, how do we find the edge length of this small cube? Always let the question guide you. Apart from the edge length of the big cube, the only other information that's given is that the big cube is cut into 8 cubes of equal volume. Thus, 8 cubes of equal volume is surely our hint. The edge length of the big cube is already given. So, finding its volume is a piece of cake. And since the volume of the smaller cubes are the same, if we just divide the volume of one big cube by the number of cubes it gets cut into, that is 8, we would get the volume of one small cube. Once the volume of the small cube is known, we can easily find its edge length. Now, with the edge lengths of both the cubes being known, we can very easily calculate and compare their surface areas to get the required ratio. See, the question is practically solved. All that's left to do is the calculation. So let's get over with it in a jiffy. Say the edge length of one small cube is x centimeters. Then the volume of 8 small cubes of edge length x centimeters is equal to the volume of one big cube of edge length 12 centimeters. Now, Using the formula for volume of cubes in this equation, we get 8x cubed is equal to 12 cubed. Now, this just simplifies to x cubed is equal to 12 cubed divided by 2 cubed, which is the same as 6 cubed. Then, x cubed is equal to 6 into 6 into 6, or x is equal to 6. So, the edge length of one small cube is 6 centimeters. See, the first part of the question is proved. Now, for the second part, we can use the edge lengths of both the cubes in the formula for total surface area of cubes. So, on using the edge length of the big cube in the formula, we get 6 into 12 squared, or 6 into 12 into 12. And the total surface area of the small cube is equal to 6 into 6 squared, or simply 6 into 6 into 6. Now, the required ratio is equal to the surface area of one big cube divided by the surface area of one small cube, that is 6 into 12 into 12 divided by 6 into 6 into 6. Since we did not simplify these values earlier, it becomes so much easier to divide, and we finally arrive at 4:1. So basically, the surface area of one big cube is to the surface area of one small cube is equal to 4:1. There you have it. We just solved the question. That question was easy peasy. We spent extra time so that you can understand the approach. Now, let us tackle something that will make us rack our brains. Here's one. It states that an agricultural field is in the form of a rectangle of length 20 meters and width 14 meters. A pit 6 meters long, 3 meters wide, and 2.5 meters deep is dug in the corner of the field, and the earth taken out of the pit is spread uniformly over the remaining area of the field. Find the extent to which the level of the field has been raised. Whoa, that's a pretty lengthy question. What does it say? Let's visualize. It says that there's a 20 meters by 14 meters rectangular field, and a pit of the given measurements is dug out at one of the corners of the field. Now, the earth or the soil taken out of the field is spread uniformly over the remaining area of the field, and we need to find the level or the height by which the field is raised. Quite interesting, isn't it? So, how do we go about this one? Well, this is where your imagination comes in. We need to find the length by which the remaining area of the field is raised, which, in other words, is just the height of this 3D shape. Now, this 3D shape was created by spreading all the earth dug out from the pit. So, if you think about it, the volume of this 3D shape would be the same as the volume of the earth dug out from the pit, which in turn is nothing but the capacity of the pit. Now, from the dimensions of the pit given in the question, it's obvious that it's a cuboid, the capacity of which we can easily find. So, if we can equate this capacity with the volume of this 3D shape, we should be able to find the required height. So basically, we just have to find the volume of this 3D shape. The next logical question: how do we find the volume of such an unfamiliar 3D shape? Isn't it obvious? We just break it into familiar shapes, calculate their individual volumes, and add them all up. See, the question is practically solved. But that doesn't mean the calculations aren't important. They are just as important, so let's begin right away. First things first, let us find the volume of the earth dug out from the pit. It would be equal to the capacity of the cuboidal pit, which is the same as 6 meters into 3 meters into 2.5 meters, or simply 45 cubic meters. Now, the next step is to break this 3D shape into familiar shapes whose volumes we can find. You see, this entire side of the field measures 14 meters, and this edge of the pit measures 3 meters. So, the length of this part would just measure 14 meters minus 3 meters, that is 11 meters. Similarly, the length of this other part would measure 20 minus 6 is equal to 14 meters. So, if we break the 3D shape along this line, we would get two cuboids. The first one with base area 11 into 6, that is 66 square meters, and the second one with base area 14 into 14, that is 196 square meters. But what about their heights? Whatever they are going to be the same for both because the earth was spread uniformly. So, if we take the common height as h, the volume of cuboid 1 would be 66 into h, which is nothing but 66h. Similarly, the volume of cuboid 2 would be 196h. Adding them up, we get the volume of the complete 3D shape as 262h. Now, we know that the volume of the 3D shape is equal to the capacity of the pit. So, 262h is equal to 45, or h is equal to 45 by 262, which just simplifies to 0.1718 meters. Now, multiplying this with 100, we would get the height in centimeters as 17.18. So basically, the level of the remaining area of the field is raised by 17.18 centimeters. That was a pretty interesting question, wasn't it? I'm sure that after solving it, you have understood the importance of imagination in solving such problems. The more you delve into the problems, the more active your imagination will become. And who doesn't want an active imagination? We all do. Watch this video once again if it pleases you, and then rush to solve the problems. I'll be seeing you super soon with another amazing video. Till then, keep learning and keep imagining.